Let's start out this way. If you're thinking that Hollywood films are not getting released in China anymore, you're correct. The big shift is on, and it was very predictable. China is making it very difficult for U.S. films to even be able to be seen in that country. Aside from being inevitable, though, what's actually going on? Well, let's dive in. Here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, hiss and foes, welcome to the CultureCasino!
Like with many things in China, when you are invited in as a business partner, at least a business partner with the government, you're elated. The deal probably doesn't give you many of the things that you'd want as a company, but you're advised that the next time you negotiate, things will be a little better. It doesn't take long until you are blinded by the additional revenues that you wouldn't have earned otherwise, so your concerns about fair dealings fall away. Your newfound revenue leads to, of course, an inevitable expansion, and certain elements of your business migrate over China completely. Those positions, jobs, and tradecraft are expanded there, transferring production techniques and expertise. That expertise, of course, was very hard earned, making you or your business successful in the first place. If there is more to gain from a partnership, China will renegotiate, usually driven by some trade representative, and the deal might get a bit sweeter for you and your company. Of course, you're going to forget the cost that came from the first deal, and this is a cycle that can go on for years and years. Eventually, you find yourself in a disadvantageous position. Well, you were there the whole time, you just really were blinded by money. And this is not a new story, of course, because many companies have found this out about themselves, and they get there oftentimes sooner rather than later. Doing business in China means understanding everything that you have there can be taken away on a whim. You essentially have entered a partnership with the devil. You should probably be looking at it that way. Hollywood signed that deal, this kind of deal, in blood. It gave even their worst films a chance to have a profit, and at times nearly doubled the North American box office takes. Of course, that's not really the revenue that they get to take. We'll get to that at the end of the video. This article here that we're looking at is from Variety, and it talks about the actual basics about the failing love affair between Hollywood and China and the situation that they both find themselves in. And this isn't even the first one. About once every month or so, we get something like this in a trade magazine or a financial magazine, sometimes even more regularly than that, as this has been a long breakup. The article points out that in 2018, Hollywood films topped the China's market at least 25 weekends of that year. China's made films topped the other 2 weekends. In 2021, by stark contrast, U.S. films make up only 9.5% of the Chinese box office. That's staggering. In fact, only 2 films this year are in China's top 15 rankings as far as box office performance. One of them you can guess easily, it was Fast 9. There are some things glossed over by the author of this article here, most importantly being the celebration of centenary, or the first 100 years of the Chinese communist takeover. This meant that no films other than the Chinese-made films, and they were heavily propagandized, would be exhibited for a period of many weeks. This is a key element in some of the loss of film titles, as nearly 2 months of release time was lost. There are no significant films from the US market being released in China right now. They sit fallow without release approvals and or release dates. The article notes that the most likely film to find its way into theaters is Dune because of its funding partner, Legendary, which is owned by the Wanda Group. Although actually, from time to time, Wanda finds itself at odds with Beijing, but that's a completely other video. We can cover that another time. At least they acknowledge in this article and many others that we've seen that there are political issues at play between the US and China. Exhibitors can be healed and helped out by allowing US films in. That would help that market substantially. But the resurgence in the propaganda films, as I mentioned just a few moments ago, and the success of those propaganda films in the theaters pushing those socialist messages, maybe benefit Beijing a bit more right now. Lots of industries are being locked down right now in China, and even the strict censorship that China thrives on is being ramped up a few more notches as we're starting to see celebrities lose their social media presences because you can't be more popular than the Chinese government. The last thing of note is a reminder to those of you who have been listening to me for a while on this channel and many others that I appear on. For those of you who are newer, this may not come as a shock either. The amount of Hollywood's take in the Chinese box office is minuscule. In 2018, Hollywood's share of box office receipts for its film releases in China was a take of 25% of total revenues. That's much lower than almost any other country in the world, and it's far lower than their opening weekend collections in the United States, which are sometimes up to 70% of the box office take. So ask yourself again, just one more time, who is the most valuable market in the world? As for Hollywood, losing its foothold in China, you'd have to ask them a few questions. Was it worth elevating China's production abilities? Is it worth their smaller box office takes? Is it worth the loss of an industry where you dominated? Or did you just strip mine the industry for a short-term profit? I think we all know the answer to those questions. This was predicted to end badly. It may just end up being that prediction. Heck, I expect the issue to crop up with theme parks in the near future, and I think only time will tell there as well. But hey, what do you think? Use the space below to add your thoughts, because I'm genuinely interested in what they are. In fact, I'm more than a little bit curious. There are some scholarly articles that I can point some folks towards if they're interested that would help you arrive at some similar conclusions. In closing, I just want to encourage you to support independent creators here on the platform. They absolutely need your help to grow. And not just survive, but to grow and become larger. We do our very best here to promote as many as we possibly can, but it's only through your subscription, support, liking, and sharing their content that they can be recognized in the algorithm. It's a lot of dedication by the creators on this side of the camera. Other than that, I'll say this: be sure to take care of yourself, take care of others, wash your hands, of course, because it's good hygiene. It actually is. Should have been doing it your whole life. And until next time, bye.
Hey there, one last quick note before I let you go, and before we make it to the end of this video. I, CultureCasino, have a brand new Teespring store. That's right, you can now go to Teespring, look up CultureCasino, or use the link in the video below, and pick out some handsome and beautiful CultureCasino merchandise with many different designs and styles and colors, many different items. I was actually surprised at all of the things that you could create, and I have some more designs and items on the way here shortly. But, you know, if you want to support the channel in that way, there is some merch. Otherwise, here comes the ending. Thanks for visiting today. Be sure you're subscribed and hit that for alerts.
Yay!
Of course, like and share all of the videos that you can, as it helps with the algorithm. Have a great day.